Good morning. Good morning. Well, actually, no. Sorry. No, this is a habit. But this is something I just had to get off. And like I said, every time lately, I just always want to talk about God, what he's doing, what does it mean? I've been having this deep, like unquenchable thirst to try to understand God more. And like I said, that is my only goal of this year, of 2026. At least the only goal that I can really like focus on. You know what I mean? Like I have a whole list of goals. I'm looking at them right now. And ever since I like really prayed over them, like everything kind of just goes to the wayside, honestly. Like everything. It's like none of that stuff really matters. But so got this man in this men's group at church. Something I've been really wanting to get into, mainly since I haven't been able to make my one from the gym. I still wanted to like be around like a group of guys in order to really just keep living in the word. Um, and they just started this book of authentic manhood. And believe it or not, I've gone through this before, but I think now that I have more life and more experiences, it's like it just spoke to me more. I started a little bit late. Um, but yeah, this is like kind of like talking about like manhood and what does it pretty much mean to be pretty much a man of God or a biblical man. You know what I mean? So like this, and I just want to talk about it because it like when I say it spoke to me, this day actually spoke to me more than anything. So the first thing it talks about is like there's three areas of responsibility when it comes to being a man. Like God gave man a will to obey. You know, God has us in his greater will to obey. God gave man work to do. Wanted us to like use our hands, use our minds, use something to like build and create and pretty much add more value to life essentially. And then God gave a woman to love, a companion for intimacy and fellowship. And you know me, I'm asking questions because I'm really trying to dive into this. And I even asked, like, wait, so is this like an order, or is it like just three general things, or is it three things that like, I can just do, like, if I want to like switch them up, like, no, this is the order of things to do, and which makes more sense because then I start asking myself, okay, have I obeyed? Have I obeyed his word? And if I have, what work have I been doing to obey his word? What am I creating? What am I like adding more value? Mm. So then it talks about in the Bible how they describe Jesus as the second Adam. Now, if you remember Adam, first man, you know Adam. Then had a wife, out of a rib. Let me get that rib. I'm gonna make a woman out of that. So when people say like, "Oh man, she's my rib," that's kind of what they referencing. Brought sin into the world, and Jesus is like the second Adam. Um, and what do they mean by that? Well, through Adam, sin into the world, right? But through Jesus, righteousness entered the world. Not completely offsetting everything Adam did, but like almost like giving us a way out, giving us like an exit turn to do it. It's like Jesus fulfilled the responsibilities of the first Adam. So I don't think you guys are catching up with me right now. Like it just, man. Okay. So like, check it out. 1 Corinthians 15, 45 through 47. Thus it is written, the first man Adam became the living being. The last Adam became the living giving spirit. The first man from the earth, a man of dust. The second man is from heaven. So that right there is just referencing how Adam came from dust and he returned back to dust, but like just almost showing me how like fragile and like how much Jesus actually needed because he's came out from heaven. This, and I know I'm not describing this really well, but let me find this. So every man will walk in the shadows of one of these two atoms, one of these two men. Like ultimately, since we're human, we're all gonna fall short. All of us are gonna fall short. But and that's but when we do, it's kind of like which one are we gonna align more with? Like to be a good godly man, being deep rooted in the word is like a non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Because that right there is your foundation. And if you're firm in that, then all the other responsibilities you need can also have a firm foundation in you. If your foundation is unstable, then it's like building a house in the sand. You know what I mean? So when you fall short, are you going to fade to the darkness, fade to the back, as Adam did, or are you going to just bring it to light and do what's right, like Jesus did? Mm. This is good. But this is here. This is what I really wanted to get to. And it's pretty much bringing all the definitions of what does it mean to be a man and like manhood and a biblical man. Like what is it? And it's pretty much broken down into four different things, four different categories. And I'll just reject passivity, accept responsibility, lead courageously, and invest internally. Right? So let's uh let's break that down real quick. So first, reject passivity. And this is when I really start reflecting on myself. So, like I said, an example, like in my last relationship, I was 100% the first Adam. When it came to like the party scene or anything, like I led, you know, my ex down the wrong path. And I was so passive about it and I just let it happen. Like I didn't really stand like, no, don't do that, no, don't do that. And then I won't go into detail, but like there was one point where we weren't going to do something, but then like I tried it. So then she did as well because she just wanted to like be with me in that moment. And at the time, I didn't really think any of it, but now that I reflect on a lot of stuff, it's like, man, that was so passive of me. Like I stood for nothing. I stood for nothing. You know what they say, you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. And like, in that moment, I just wanted to be cool. I just wanted to be hood right to my friends. And like Adam, he too was passive. Because you think about it, when Eve bit that apple, it didn't say like he was out chopping wood or hunting animals or getting dinner ready. No, in Genesis 6, 3 6, sorry, 3 6. So when the woman saw the tree was good for food and delighted the eye, she took the fruit, ate it, and then gave it to her husband who was with her, and he ate. So you're saying he was right there. He didn't say stop. No, hey, I don't care what that serpent says. We are not supposed to eat that. Did it anyway. Did it anyway. And he was right there, passive, just let it fly. When you have Jesus who rejects passivity, being born is like this. Man, but found a human, be humble. And so in Philippians 2:5 through 9, but I'm just gonna skip down to this because I'm just fired up about this. And being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming an obedient to the point of death, even the death of his cross. So if he would have been passive and like kind of just, hey man, I didn't do anything, got myself off the cross, like I'm gonna save myself, like I'm not gonna think about all humanity. Like he could have easily just, hey man, y'all on your own, you guys are doomed, and righteousness wouldn't even have been a thing. It wouldn't even been a thing to think about. And then two, accept responsibility. And this is when like the obeying, the work, the woman to love. You know, Jesus didn't really have a wife, but he loves the church. That was his wife. That was his ministry was his bride. So they say Adam failed his responsibilities, mainly because he only gave him one job. Like, yo, do anything you want, just don't eat from this tree. But then you also see it and I've been reading in Cain and Abel after I think it was Cain that killed Abel. And when God shows up again and asks, where your brother's at, he doesn't take responsibility. He's like, hey, whoa, am I my brother's keeper? No, no. You know what I mean? So that right there is like perfect representation of like not like accepting responsibility. Jesus accept responsibility. You know, he had the will to obey. He did the work he was supposed to do while on earth, and he built his ministry. And look at this, Ephesians 5:25. Husband, loves your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. So especially when we talk about men being leaders, and now we have like, alpha males, and no, women better bow down to me, da 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 da. But it's almost like the complete opposite. It's almost like as a man, if you really, love your wife or love, like, yeah, love your wife, love your family, it's almost like you bow down to them and you like lay down your life for them to like walk over you. Not the other way around, where it's like, woman better have my meal ready. No, and that's why like we have to be in our word all the time because reality changes, themes change. Like if you think about it, like toxic masculinity wouldn't even have been a thing to even talk about, probably like not even 10 years ago, right? But for the last 2,000 years, the word hasn't changed. And I'm starting to really understand that now. And that's what's so awesome about this. Men lead courageously. And I just think back on all my like Adam failed to lead in the garden. Just like I failed to lead, like I failed to lead, I failed to lead. Even going back to accepting responsibility, like when I look back at like my life and like used to being a player and everything, and like play with girls' emotions and heartstrings and stuff, and it's like I used to somehow think like I was still a good guy and I was making it out. It wasn't. It honestly was not until I accepted that no, you are not good. No, you did these awful things and probably mentally scarred some people and accept responsibility for that. Even if that means humbling yourself enough to even ask for it, like apologize. Now, if they accept it, that's cool. If they don't, that's also cool. They completely have that right. But that was like one of the main things I pretty much had to do. And I'm sorry, lead courageously, lead courageously. Oh man. So when Jesus He led by following others. All he did was tell the disciples, "Follow me." That was it. Hey, bro, come here, come here. And what do people do? Yep, sir, because they saw there was something more to them. You know what I mean? I think there's something with that. There's something where it's like people can tell who a real leader is, a shepherd, if you will. Did Adam lead courageously? No, he actually didn't lead at all. He did not lead at all. And I think a lot of the times when you lead and accept responsibility means standing for something and truly like, hey, if it doesn't align with like what you believe ultimately, then it's like, do you have that? Are you courageous enough to walk away and lead down the path you know is right? You know, like for me personally, like there are some things like I hate to say, it, but yeah, I miss doing it, miss having fun with some people. But then it's like, was it really fun? No. Okay. So am I man enough to walk down the path that I know I need to walk compared to the ones I shouldn't walk? Hmm? Come on, man. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. And then we have lastly, hold up, here, I want to read this real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 15:4-5. Jesus led by providing life to others. The first man, Adam, became the living being. The last Adam, Jesus, became the living spirit. That right there just says it all. Oh, here's another one about leading courageously. John 10:11. Jesus led by providing protection for others. He said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd laid on his life for his sheep. There's too many good verses in this one, man. Like, oh, yeah. See what I'm trying to do. Like, well, I'm so fired up about this because it's like when I first read this, when I first went through this, the first time, like I've had like all these life experiences, I wasn't ready. And now I couldn't be more fired up to lead and do what I'm supposed to do. And last, we have invest internally. Invest internally means like not chasing the temporary satisfactions, not running to the computer, not running to the females, not running to somebody to pretty much just take that temporary pain away. And I am now seeing, like, sometimes there's some knee jerk reactions to want to go back to that, but I know deep down that that's right. And that's honestly me rejecting passivity. I'm confident enough to say that now. I'm investing internally because I'm investing in like my life after this life by getting in this word, by living out, by spreading the word. Like I want my fruit to be so ripe that people are like, "Well, I've actually had this," and it's probably one of the biggest compliments I've had in all of this. I had this young lady at the gym when I coached. One time I actually bumped into her or something like that, and it was taken the wrong way. But she was completely scared of me, and I was just yeah, completely scared of her. You know, I tried to confront her and I tried to like almost starting to suck up a little bit, but then like it didn't it didn't translate. So I was like, all right, cool, fine. You know, it is what it is. But you know, just this past week, you know, we started talking more and more, and like I've been kind of sharing my faith more, and like not really like I'm scared, but like you know, little doses, little micro doses. And she's like, yeah, you definitely changed. Like you definitely can tell you have the Holy Spirit in you. And I was like. And if it's from a person that literally did not like me, scared of me, did not talk to me, avoided me, now comes the open arms to tell me this, come on, man. Come on, man. You can't. It's undeniable. And I'm so fired up about this. And I'm excited to one day be able to lead more men. And I think that's part of what I've been called to do because I do know I have a presence. I can accept that now. I have a presence to lead others. And that's what I want to do. And I'm gonna keep going through this, man. And let me tell you, this authentic manhood is really good when you like, and everything is good when you actually want it. I'll just say that. Like therapy, couples therapy, reading the word, getting in everything. Everything is like you really dive in when you truly want it. If you don't truly want it, then it's just gonna be whatever. When you truly like have that thirst and the desire and realize how much you need it, there's some things that can't be ignored. So yeah, that's all I got for you. That what it means to be a man. Like I can't wait to dive more into this. And I've been trying to surround myself with more godly men, and it's been really, really nice, but it's not easy. Having male friends is not easy, and trying to find godly ones on top of that, but it's going to be good. I love you guys. I just always had to say, as you can tell, I'm super fired up about this. This is what we've been called to do. What were those four again? I mean, reject passivity, accept responsibility, lead courageously, and invest internally. This, come on, man. You guys have a great day. God bless.